Hey everyone, this is LYS from Laddering Your Success, and you're listening to the LYS Podcast.
All righty. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of Edge Steps powered by Laddering Your Success. As always, I'm your good friend Olayinka Sharanki, and I'm here with my good friend Festus Samoye. Festus, how you doing today, man?
Doing great. It's great day to be here. Great day to be alive.
Absolutely. Had our good friend, the future doctor to be, Jamar Crawford. He's going to be back with us in just a bit. So let's get right into it. This is the holiday season. So we're about, a week, 2 weeks away from, about a week and a half maybe away from Christmas. And so, if you get into Christmas, that means you get into the end of the year. And I was thinking, what's a good thing to talk about? And I thought, some of the stuff that we've done. It's 10 things, but
The TV's off. Okay.
10 things to think about before going to college, which is an ebook that Festus wrote about selecting your education experience. This is a free ebook that we give to everyone, but obviously it's geared towards students, and it's just an awesome book, an awesome look for any young person looking to figure out what to do after high school, right? Because we understand that although high school is not forever, the process of education will last throughout your life. And so it's very important to make sure you find your purpose, you understand those talents, those skills, those abilities, those things that you do just a little bit better than the next person, and to find a vocation and to find a life within those things, right? So real quick, just going to go through the table of contents and just let you know what's in this ebook. The first one, which is my favorite, I think, is why are you going? And then we talk about, are you college ready? Great question. Who benefits from your education? The value your college adds to you. The value you plan on adding to your college. Next, we have your external resources. After that, your internal resources. Then we have what you plan on doing when you leave college. Can you earn just as much or more money without a degree? Sorry. Can you earn just as much or more money without a degree? Great question, especially these days. And how much does your college choice cost? All profound, all super deep, important questions for every young person to ask themselves as they're getting ready to leave high school and as they're going on post high school, right? So the first one I think about is, why are you going? Which, if you are a fan of memes or GIFs, there's an old African movie where a woman it was not even an old African, it's made in the 2000s. But I think it's a Nigerian movie because it's the same girl that played Jennifer. She's running away and she's like, oh, and the guy's walking out the car and he's like, where are you going? Where are you going? And she's just like, oh. And it's a funny clip that I don't know if you remember that, Festus, but they played that for the longest. It was just like people would just play it, wherever. And it was super popular. And that's what I think about when I see that question. It's not where are you going? It's why are you going? But it's still kind of the same thing. Like, why are you going? And also it just makes me think about my parents. Do you remember that, Festus?
I do not. I don't.
Okay.
But
I will send it to you after the call.
but yeah, kind of just my thing and kind of why I put that ebook together was that there's so much pressure on students these days to go to college, to be college ready, all of these different types of things. But a lot of people don't really know why. They don't know, what's the benefits of it. And from a student standpoint, if you could answer those students' questions, it might help. And especially when you think about like student loan debt and you think about the amount of people who are going to college and not really using their degrees, but just picking up a lot of debt, like these questions should be answered. And so that's kind of what we were trying to do in that in that.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. I think one of the most important things when we used to have these meetings about 5-6 years ago, we used to sit and we used to talk about, man, listen to me, we don't want this next generation to have to deal with the burden of student loan debt. It's not fair for schools to prop up college and say that you got to go to college and make it this thing that make it feel as if it's something you have to do, right? And you get out and you think, the world is, at your fingertips, but you've got close to 6 figures in student loan debt. It is a major burden. And it begins this cycle of almost slavery. You're slave to the debt, And of course, I don't, not in terms of like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but this is just a huge burden. This is deeper than Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you ask me, because this is your purpose, right? This is your reason for even being here, right? So what I want to do is I want to read that first portion, the why are you going portion, and then we're going to discuss some things about that. Most people think that this is a given. Sadly, today it's not. Many students are told, just go and you'll figure it out when you get there. You can figure it out, but it may end up costing you. The number one thing it's going to cost you is time. As the saying goes, you can earn more money, but you can't buy more stuff. I'm sorry. You can earn more money, you can buy more stuff, but you can't get more time. By knowing why you're going to college, you will know very quickly if you are getting what you want out of it. Some people go to college for many different reasons, but no one goes just to waste their time. Anytime anyone asks why, they are looking for purpose. In purpose, we find meaning. So, what does it mean for you to go to college? This is vitally important because you are the one who has to do the work of showing up for classes, picking up your books, and long hours of studying. There are many different reasons why we go to college. The desire to earn a high-paying job or to experience life on your own for a while in college seems safe. Keep in mind that your reason for going has to sustain you for up to 5 years, right? So really, really beautiful stuff in there. And so I wanted to bring up the question, what going to college means to me. What going to college means to me. And so I want us to all go back and I want us to actually think about this for ourselves. What does going to college mean to me? Man, Festus, that's such a powerful question. Jamark, you're back. Thank you so much. That's such a powerful question because for me, when I was in high school, going to college meant exposing myself to something that I hadn't been to or I hadn't seen. Going to college meant potentially becoming successful, right? But that question there about the long hours, that question about things like going out and picking your books, the questions about the financial responsibilities, the slow entrance of independence and adulthood. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't even ready to face those questions. One of the things I dealt with is, this thing of like, oh, it'll take care of itself. No, it won't. I mean, it will, but you won't like the solution. You won't like what the solution that comes from that is. So I want us, just to make this very relatable for the average high school student, not the one that's doing well and not the one that, doesn't show up, but just the average high school student. What did that question mean to you? What going to college means to me when we were that age?
Hey, LYS fam, it's Ole. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that even though the cost of college can be daunting, the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook can assist you in realizing your dreams. You can identify and apply for scholarships using the information, advice, and resources in our comprehensive guide. Also, we've provided a template for a successful scholarship essay to help you stand out from the crowd. Don't allow student loan debt to control you. Get your copy of the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook right away to take charge of your destiny. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to that fire conversation.
Your Mark, you want to kick that off?
Yeah. So at that particular age, I felt like, to me, going to college meant an opportunity to open doors to be successful. And so at that time, it was unclear what that meant, actually. To me at that time, I didn't know what success would look like, but it was okay. In order to have a door open to achieve success, go to college. And so that's what it meant for me at that particular time.
Man, I feel you on that. Like, to me, that was the kind of what was kind of pushed to was, college equals success.
Right.
I think the other part to me was like making my parents proud. And I think it's interesting because for me, I didn't have living parents at the time. So, it was just different. Like, this was almost like, okay, this is like a legacy type deal, which I think because of that, it made me approach it differently. But I don't want to get into, too much soapbox and stuff.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And that y'all brought up I think the best, and I agree completely with that. I think that was a big thing for me too, was college equals success. Like, if you wanted to be successful, like, you had to go to college. The idea of trades and all these things, these young people, I just go out and talk to a teacher and ask the teacher if they know someone, because that trade is, and I don't want to get on the soapbox either. Thank you so much for setting the precedent, Festus, for us not jumping on the soapbox, but absolutely. So I want to jump into the next portion. Are you college ready? Right. So the next portion, we talk about folks like Alicia Keys, Steve Jobs, John Bon Jovi. I'm surprised you even got John Bon Jovi there. I was very surprised, Festus, that you knew about John Bon Jovi. That was interesting.
Well, this is the thing. I took a lot of time to research people who are successful,
Yeah.
who didn't go the college route.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, this is really interesting. Plus I wanted to kind of choose some people that other people might be familiar with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would fly in this day. You know what I'm saying? These kids now is like Phineas and Ferg. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
So
no, man, no, that was awesome. I was like, man, when I bartended, one of the most popular songs was "Living on a Prayer," if I'm not mistaken. So that's what I thought about there.
Living on a prayer.
Yeah. But you talk about that a little bit in the book, and it actually sets off. It starts to bring up some wonderful questions, right? What does it take to be a successful college student? Some may say all it takes is showing up to class, but that is far from the truth. There's a difference between being a college student and being a successful college student. Successful college students aren't just the ones that show up, but are the students that leave a mark on other students and their professors. That's beautiful, because that's not just students, that's people, that's life, right? There's a difference between the person you meet down the street and the person who leaves a mark on your life. You know what I mean? And I think, that's, I got to talk to Crawford about that, because I think he does that. He doesn't realize how amazing he is at that. So much so that some very successful college students don't even graduate on time. Right? So I mentioned those folks before, and so we're going to talk about that. Alicia Keys, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, John Bon Jovi. These men and women were so exceptionally talented that they left college early. Some later returned, while others went on to earn honorary degrees from schools that they attended or impacted in other ways. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why are you telling me about these people who are smarter than me or more talented than me? It's because college isn't for everyone, while education is. The ideals are alike, but they are not the same as one another. So quickly, I just want to talk about that first portion there. How do you know, Festus, if you are the Alicia Keys, if you are the Mark Zuckerberg, if you do have the potential? We all have the potential in our own lanes, right? But how do you know Is it like a tiered? Is it a vertical alignment where if you can't answer those questions, you know that there's something issue, those questions that we answered before? Are you able to deal with the schedule and things? If you're able to deal with things like getting your books, that maybe you need to take a break, or you maybe need to focus on this other particular thing that you're super passionate about?
And this could get into 1,000 different directions, because
Gotcha.
people start talking about neurodivergence, they start talking about networks, they start talking, it's so many different components that can go into why does one person stand out. You shoot this conversation, go to the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? You could really take this thing any direction you want when you look at those specific people. And so to me, I think the thing is to step back and not look at the specific people and look at the traits or the steps that they applied, right? Because somebody could easily say, well, and this is what I think that where a lot of people struggle with success is they say, man, you succeeded because you're you, not because of the steps that you followed or the formula or the principles, you see what I'm saying, or the values. And that's where I think we make our biggest mistakes, is that we think people are successful because they're them and there's something so unique to them, versus like, yo, there are success principles that if anybody follows them, you're going to increase your level of success. So a simple thing is just stick-to-itiveness, right? It's just sticking to what you started to do, right? So like, and Malcolm Gladwell wrote on this, basically get your 10,000 hours in. So a lot of people are not successful, simply they never start. And then when they start, they stop too soon. And so now I think there's this question about like, okay, I started, what does stopping too soon look like, right? And I think that's where it's like, okay, again, success principle is everything is sales. So how many people have you really pitched on your music, on your YouTube channel, on your idea, right? But then the thing is, now another part of it is infrastructure, because and I'm like I said, this thing could go 10,000 different ways. But when you look at Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and kind of that idea, and you guys could go watch the movie, was it stolen? Did he steal the concept from other people? Of course. For us old heads, us graybeards that remember the internet, all he did was build another MySpace. That's all he did. And we all know who those graybeards, MySpace was Black Planet.
Hey, who's this? I'm trying to do the Tom pose.
The Tom, yeah, the Tom. Yeah, but everybody knows MySpace was Black Planet. And Black Planet was Messenger, but it was a doper form of Messenger.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, these concepts aren't new concepts. But the thing is, what does Zuckerberg do differently? He got with a Peter Thiel, who Peter Thiel came from. And see, this is where you got to do your research.
Gotcha.
But Peter Thiel came from the PayPal group. So Elon, Peter Thiel, PayPal, not PayPal. I think it's David Sachs and a couple other people who were all working at PayPal together. And they were pioneers in the internet. Well, Peter Thiel cashed out and he had some money and he knew how to make things go. So he had an infrastructure already in place to say, look, give me that Facebook. I put my $500,000 in it and make it go. You see what I'm saying? Because they understood what successful things look like on the internet. You see what I'm saying? So again, there's nothing new under the sun. There's things that's new to us. And so that's what I would really challenge anybody who's trying to be successful to say, what's your formula? What are your values? And so if you need to come with us, we'll do that work together. You know what I'm saying? So let me stop there before I, like I said, it goes 10,000 different ways.
Absolutely. So also I wanted to ask about this. There's a portion that was really good where we say college isn't for everyone. And this will probably be our last point or topic that we talk about. College isn't for everyone, while education is. The ideals are alike, but they are not the same as one another. I think that's super, super important. I think that is super key right now. We are understanding more and more that As a teacher, we're tasked to create lifelong learners. And that means even after you leave your formal education, you are still constantly learning about the world around you. If you can, let's delve in that a little bit more. It's kind of like the saying that you say at the end of the call. So how exactly is that played out? If college isn't for everyone, but education is, what does the average student do when they leave high school? If they're like, college is saying, I can't do it. I can't wake up. I don't want to wake up in the morning, and I don't want to do this thing. I don't want to, have to go out and get books. And granted, probably the books are all online now or on your phone, but what does the average student do or say when it comes to that?
So I think one of the biggest things is look at YouTube, right? So now if you want to know how to do something, how to get something done, you just go to YouTube. If you want information, you go to Google, I don't think anybody uses Edge, Microsoft. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, LYS fam, it's Ole once again. These days, many families are busy but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast.
But you literally go to the internet. Well, this is the part that's nuanced that I think people don't. It's just not a conversation that's being had enough, especially in certain communities. Now, when you talk about the biases and the information and the misinformation that's on the internet, you have to be able to combine that information with critical thinking, rational thinking, logical thinking, right? And the ability to look at additional facts that you might not have considered, right? And so this is where education is important. Now, when you break down the word education, you get ed, and then you get edu, right? Which means to uplift. And then cation, we actually get the word caution from it, which means to take care, right? So to uplift the cares of the individual who's undergoing the process, right? And so most education in America does not do that, right? Most education is about trying to kind of feed you and funnel you certain amounts of information that you don't know you're going to need. And so this leads to tons and tons of brain dumping, right? So, and unfortunately, now because that's the focus, a lot of the fundamental parts of education, reading, writing, arithmetic, are failing. So instead of putting a heavy emphasis on like, can you read well? Can you do math well? Can you intellectually break things down, kind of scientific experiment, critically think and reason? Instead of teaching those fundamental building blocks and saying, okay, now you go pick what you want to learn about, and we just create the environment to foster that. Unfortunately, it's gone the other way around. Here, this is how we want you to think. This is the information we want you to have. And now if you don't think this way, you don't have this information the way that we want you to have it, you are somehow, anti-American, anti-derelict, kicked out of society, so on and so forth. And it's sad because it is the institutions themselves that are doing this. It's the institutions of higher learning. It's even the elementary schools, but I'll chill there.
Wonderful points. Absolutely, man.
I know that ignited Jamar. I know you got
speaking of which, that's exactly who I was about to go to. So perfect, man. Jamar, you see these folks, and we've been blessed and honored to come into your class at the college level, where you have a beautiful blend. It's so diverse as far as age, from young people that are still in high school to people that are just starting in high school, starting in college, first couple of years in college, to folks that are, close to our age, almost 40. So what do you notice when it comes to folks who are realizing that, man, I really do like this. I can do this. I want this. I love this. And you're seeing the folks who are like, I don't know. I don't know about all this, on a Saturday, on a Saturday, I could be playing Marvel versus Capcom. I think I'm aging myself, but but how do you do? Are there any characteristics that you notice? Is there a certain type of attitude? What are you seeing in regards to, like, how people approach college versus education, or do they even know the difference?
I think that I'm gonna take a different approach from Festus. I'm gonna take the approach of the purpose of a degree, and that's where I feel like individuals can determine, going to college versus getting an education. And I think it's determining the purpose. Like, once they determine their purpose, which kind of incorporates what you guys preach about or talk about, which is to be no do and things of that nature. Once that is determined, then I feel like those individuals can make an informed decision. And within my course, I always talk about uh, what is a college degree, which is a college degree is just a piece of paper that serves as proof that you can be a lifelong learner. And that basically translates into, if you're looking to get a job to work for someone, that's saying that, hey, you'll be valuable to my company, because if things change and we need to call an audible, you have proof of intellect that you can move with the times to learn about whatever is happening today to problem solve for tomorrow. That's all a degree is in it don't matter what kind of company you want to work for, whether it's education, whether it's a doctor, whether it's whatever. And I give the real life example of, like, if you want to go to school to be a doctor or a pharmacist or whatever, a current problem would be, okay, COVID. It's diseases aren't new and viruses aren't new. The thing is, hey, this is a new strain. So we have to problem solve. This is the problem. We have to learn about it to create some type of resolution towards it. Oh, I have a degree. I'm a doctor of medicine or whatever. So I have proof that I can learn about this and kind of counteract what the issue is. So that's all a degree is. So if that's something that you want to do to work for whatever company or field you want to work for, then maybe getting a college education might be for you. But maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe you are interested in working for yourself, being an entrepreneur. You might not know exactly what that is yet, but once you determine your purpose and you go through your guys' process, such as the be no do and things of that nature, and you realize, hey, I want to work for myself, then that's where getting that education comes in, where you might not need to go to college. You might need to educate yourself on this particular field. Okay, what are the ins and outs? Maybe a certificate on that particular skill might suit you better, and that's still getting an education. So going back to your follow-up questions, Ole, when you were saying what are my thoughts based on the diversity of students that I actually have older students that are entrepreneurs and they decide to come back to get a college education. I had a lady who's two different women who have their own businesses, but for whatever reason, they came to get an education, a college education, I should say. So one person, even though she was an entrepreneur, she came back to get her college education because she wanted to get back in the field of basically getting a job to work for somebody else for whatever reason, but she needed to get a college education. She needed that proof of being a lifelong learner. That's basically, all it is. So people have their different reasons, but I think it's important for people to identify their purpose. Is my purpose so for me, my purpose, I love teaching, I love education. So that requires me to get a college degree. I need that proof of hey, I'm a lifelong learner, and I can in the moment see that these are my students' need, and I can adjust to those students' needs in the classroom. Okay, for me, I didn't stop there. I got a master. I wanted to be a master of education. I wanted to be so good at this curriculum and instruction that now I can make the necessary changements systemic wise. So now I want to be a doctor of education, right? Because I want to take that knowledge and skills of what I know about curriculum instruction and teach it to other adults. So it's many different levels, but that's my purpose for getting a college education. If that's not what others want to do, if they're interested in working for themselves or building that financial wealth for themselves, getting an education in that craft might be a better route for them.
Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful points, man. And so I'm going to close with this.
Can we hear? Sorry, I was gonna say, can we hear from D Hill before we?
Oh, is he? Did he join? I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that guy. That guy. We're honored to have that guy on with us. D Hill, go ahead, buddy.
What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? Yeah, man. I was just over here listening to y'all over here. Spin that straight fire. How your boy would say, Festus, spin that straight fire over here. But nah, man, I've just been listening. It's kind of interesting how, like, the truth is, like Crawford said, man, it just depends on what's the reason you need it for, what's the reason you want it for. Because for real, like, a lot of times stuff don't even need a actual college education. Like, a lot of the stuff don't really need college education, and a lot of stuff that pays high doesn't need a lot of education. Like welding. Like, welding is based off of what? A trade. It's a trade where some of these projects are like based off of, like, the project might be $1,700 to do, but that person might do that project in 3 days. Now, what paying $1,700 in 3 days? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it all just depends. Like my friend, this probably took him 4 or 5 days, 3 days or something. I'm like, bro, you made $1,700 in 3 days? You can't beat that. So it just depends on what's the reason and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It sums up everything, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to close with this. There's a little portion here in the 10 things to know before leaving high school. College provides a formal and systematic method of learning. It also gives you access to exclusive resources. I think we can all agree to that. But the people mentioned earlier, when we were talking about Alicia Keys and Mark Zuckerberg and those folks, were able to find the means to accomplish their dreams outside of the academic system. So let's merge the original idea with what we got here. You have folks who are able to find means to accomplish their dreams outside of the academic system, but even among doing so, some of them decide to come back to gain a formal and systematic understanding of the learning process. And I think that's a super important thing that young people need to know for the future when it comes to finding their purpose and it comes to being a lifelong learner, right? So I want to say thank you. We do have that's going to be the show for today. We started a little bit earlier, so we're ending it. And so thank you so much for joining us. As always, folks, thank you so much. We're getting to the end of our second year. Thank you so much for joining us, following us. If you have not, Laddering Your Success, find us @BNoDo_LYS. Please do so on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the website. Please follow, like, subscribe, share. You can get access to our free ebooks on YouTube. We have all of our podcasts on there, more videos, some interviews that Festus has done in the past, a lot of the events that we've gone to. So thank you so much for joining us this Sunday. And Festus, please go ahead and hit it with the phrase that pays, sir.
So listen, there are legitimate reasons for not going to college. There's no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. I am Festus Amoye. He is Mr. Olayinka Sharonke. He is Dr. to be Jamark Crawford, and then Daniel Hill in the building.
Doctor. That
and
guy.
So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you hit that follow and the share button for somebody who needs to hear this.
Oh, you still there? Well, thank you so much for listening to the LYS Podcast.